Welcome to the new video of mycology. In the previous video we discussed about the contents that we will be covering in the upcoming sessions. So before starting the first topic, that is the linear measurements, I would like to introduce you all to the term of metrology and instrumentation and various terms that will be frequently used during the whole course. So, metrology is the name given to the science of pure measurement, whereas instrumentation is the use of instrument to measure and control the chemical and physical properties of the material. Now, concentrating on the basic terms, which are range, span, scale spacing, scale distance value, etc. So, starting first with range. What range is? So, to understand what range is, let's take an example and then understand, which will make it easier to understand, easier for you to understand. So, consider a micrometer that can measure from 0 mm to 25 mm. So, the range of the micrometer will be 0 to 25 mm. Let us take another example, say for thermometer, which can measure temperatures from minus 10 degrees to 80 degrees. So the range of the thermometer will be minus 10 degrees to 80 degrees. Now you all will be knowing what range is. So let's see what's the definition of range is. It is the region between the limits which an instrument is designed to operate for. Now second is span. Span represents the difference between the maximum measuring capacity and the minimum measuring capacity of the instrument. Let's say taking example of the same micrometer which was measuring 0 to 25 mm. So the span of measurement of this micrometer will be 25 mm, that is the maximum minus minimum capacity of measuring. Say for example, the thermometer that we took as example in range was measuring minus 10 degrees to 80 degrees. So the difference will give us the span of the thermometer, which is 80 minus minus 10, that is 90 degrees Celsius. The scale spacing. Scale spacing is basically the distance between the axes of two adjacent graduations on the scale, whereas the scale division value is the measured value, that is the value of the distance between the two axes. Repeatability. Repeatability is the variation in measurement taken by a single person on the same item under same condition. For example, if a person is measuring the x dimension of product y, if again and again he measures at the same under same condition with the same specimen, and he is able to obtain the similar results, then it is said that repeatability is maintained. Reproducibility. Reproducibility refers to the agreement between the measurements or observations conducted on replicate specimen in different location by different people as part of the precision of the test method. It seems to be a bit complicated, but let's take an example to understand what reproducibility is. Say for example, person X at place A measures certain dimension of specimen, and person Y at place B measures the same dimension with a replicate specimen at place B. If both the persons are able to obtain similar results, then it is said that reproducibility is maintained. Magnification or sensitivity. Magnification or sensitivity is generally defined as the enlargement of output signal for the given input signal. From the graph, it can also be seen that the greater the magnification, the smaller the range will be, because for small amount of input we will get higher amount of output. In the graph, it can be seen that the x-axis represents the input signal, whereas the y-axis represents the output signal. This graph has been plotted for two instruments, instrument A and instrument B. You can see that for both the instruments, same amount of input signal is being provided, but different amount of output signal is obtained. So it can be said that instrument A is more sensitive as compared to instrument B. Now comes the two important terms that all of us are a bit confused about, that is accuracy and precision. Uh, Talking about accuracy, it is the closeness of the measured value to the true value. That is how much close you are able to obtain the value than the true value. That if say the true value is 55.5 and you are able to achieve 55.4, it will be said as accurate value. But if you are able to obtain 55.45, this will be called as more accurate value than the previous one. Whereas precision is the repeatability of the measuring process. Precision is what? That if you are measuring 55.4, you are able to obtain again and again near about 55.41, 55.4, 55.39. So it can be said that precision is achieved. So now we can see in the figure below, which shows us the accurate and precise results, accurate and inaccurate, precise inaccurate results, and inaccurate imprecise results. Consider this is a dartboard, and see the figure 1, that is the accurate and precise. All the crosses are marked in the circle where the dart should be positioned. So these results are accurate as well as precise, as we have discussed earlier what accurate and what precise is. Now considering the second figure, that is the inaccurate and precise, we can say that the accuracy will be obtained only when the darts are pointed on the innermost circle. But here in this case, the darts are not positioned in the innermost circle, but all of the values we can say are near about, so it is a precise value but not accurate. The third is the inaccurate and imprecise. The darts that are being struck are almost far away and are not concentrated on the innermost circle where they should be required to. So these results are inaccurate as well as imprecise. Now considers the factor affecting the accuracy. There are 5 factors which affects the accuracy, and a term is what we can say expressed for that is SWIPE, SWIPE. S stands for standard, W stands for workpiece, I stands for instrument, P stands for person, and E stands for environment. Now let's consider some more terms related to metrology and instrumentation. So here are a few terms such as hysteresis, threshold, resolution, dead zone, dead time, drift, overshoot, etc. On the right hand side, you are able to see a graph having the input signals or the input values and the output signals on y-axis or the output values. So what hysteresis basically is. Before understanding what hysteresis error is, let's take an example to understand this in an easy manner. Say for example, you are using a micrometer to measure value of say the gauges, thickness of gauges. So that is the slip gauge. Say for example, using a micrometer measuring one slip gauge, then adding 2 slip gauges and then measuring it, then adding the third one and then again measuring the dimension. In this way you are adding on the slip gauges and measuring the dimensions. Say for example, when you have added 3 slip gauges, you have got some output as your micrometer reading. You noted that output. Now you go on adding slip gauges and again measuring. Say for example, you added 5 slip gauges. Now after having the maximum dimension, that is of 5 slip gauges, you now go in a decreasing order, that is removing one by one and again measuring the dimension. Say for example, in the same example, if for the same amount of slip gauges that we have measured the output previously, we measure the output again in the decreasing order. We may get the different result as the micrometer reading. The difference between this reading and the previous reading for the same output input signal will give us the hysteresis error. Generally, hysteresis error is due to the dry friction, that may be the friction due to in the screw threads, etc. Now comes the threshold. What threshold is? Basically, it is the minimum value of input before which the instrument will not detect any output change when input signal is gradually increased from a zero value. As you can see in the graph clearly, the threshold value is shown starting from zero value. Now comes the term resolution. Resolution is the minimum value of input before which instrument will not detect any output change when the input signal is gradually increased from a non-zero value. As for example, in case of threshold, it was from zero value, but if we start from a non-zero value and find out for how much amount of input we are not getting output, and then after we are getting output, then it will be termed as resolution. Dead zone or dead band. Dead zone is the largest range through which an input signal can be varied without initiating any response from the indicating system. Say for example, in the graph it can be seen that the instrument is not giving any type of output or any type of response for the certain duration or the zone or the band of input given to the instrument. Dead time. Dead time is the time during which the dead band is occurring. Drift. Drift is the undesired gradual departure of the instrument output over a period of time that is unrelated to changes in input, operating condition, or load. To understand drift more clearly, let's take an example of say thermometer. If you purchase a thermometer on day 1, if the actual temperature is 24 degrees Celsius and the thermometer is showing 21 degrees Celsius, then you can say that there is an error of 3 degrees. After using it for 1 month, again for same temperature of 24, it is showing 20 degrees Celsius. So you can say that the error has increased to -4 degrees Celsius. So you can say that drift has occurred in the instrument. Overshoot. Overshoot is the maximum amount by which the pointer moves beyond the steady state value. Now, overshoot is generally considered only in the instruments which are of pointer type. That is, it can be your pressure measurement, that is the Bourdon tube pressure gauge, or your speedometer. Say for example, you are going on a bike at a speed of 60 km/h. Your speedometer will not analog type speedometer will not show you 60, but it will fluctuate between say 58 to 62. So you can say that you are going at a speed of 60, but the pointer is showing a maximum value of 62, so the overshoot value will be 2. So this is all about the video. In the next video we will be taking the our first topic, that is the linear measurement. Thank you.